fulfillment. So that's so important. Well, hello. Welcome to another Rise and Ride. I'm your host, Dr. A.D. Burns, and this is my co-host, Brother Minister James Jones. What's up, Brother Jones?
I'm doing good. Pastor.
Doing good. But listen, we're rising and we are thriving. We are rising from a financial slump and we are thriving in financial freedom. I mean, financial freedom, I find myself using that word a lot lately. You know, when I'm looking at certain things or making certain decisions to buy or not buy, when it's something that I want to buy, but I realize that now is really not the time to buy it for whatever reason, I find myself saying financial freedom. We're planning a family vacation, and every year I take my family on vacation, and I pay for everything. And the older they get, the more it costs to take them somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then, when I was looking at the plane tickets and looking at some of those packages, I was saying financial freedom. It's nothing like financial freedom, is it?
Yeah, there's nothing like being able to make plans and then take people there and be like, okay, cool. I got everything situated, everything's paid for, and then we can just go. Those are always fun moments.
And you don't think about those things until those times come up. Like for me, I knew for a year that, we were going to be going on vacation. It's something that happens every year. But because I didn't put nothing aside, heading up to that time, now all of a sudden it's here. And then, I'm feeling the pressure, you know what I mean? and that's so relevant, and it's so important because so many of us are in that same type of framework in different areas of our lives where we're putting things off, whether it's through procrastination or whether it's through indecisiveness, and putting things off, and time is continuing to roll forward, and then all of a sudden you don't have the time and you have not put nothing in place. And so planning is very important, and especially when we talk about being intentional, small steps, and when we talk about making sure that our money has an assignment. All of those things are very important if you're going to be able to have financial freedom, even at an entry point, financial freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
people, we don't often expect things to happen, like bad things that we don't expect. Okay. We're gonna wake up and everything is just work itself out. But when you have a couple years on you, you know that those things can happen at any given time. So it's always beneficial to have something set aside. Like when what's that? One of them bosom blessings. What's that old school church mama with the bosom blessing when like
I don't know. I got a feeling I know where you're going. I'm on pins and needles. Come on, tell me where.
All I'm saying is that sometimes you gotta. Sometimes it's better for us, right? It's better for us not to be like, I need a bosom blessing. No, you don't. What you need to do is make the appropriate adjustments before you get to that wall.
Okay.
Get yourself in line before you were like, oh, woe is me. No. You knew a year ago that your family wanted to go on vacation. You knew 2 years ago that y'all wanted to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Now, are we saying that y'all got to go down to Paris or y'all got to go to London? No, we saying that it's a vacation, set it up, put the money to put the money aside piece by piece. And then when you go on a vacation, the money is already there.
Yeah.
Or at least a good chunk of it is already there.
So put the money aside and leave the money on the side until you use it.
Yes. Don't nibble it.
I put the money up. I've saved up enough for vacation. Probably I think like 2 or 3 times between now and last year. Some kind of way, it got reassigned. Well, listen, we got Lady B with us tonight. Said, "Hey, my grinder. Hey, grinder. James, did you say hello to all your grinders yet?"
No, but I will since you made it clear. All I gotta say is good evening to all my grinders. We gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And so, let this be a lesson for all of us. How important it is to look ahead and to begin not only to put money aside for those events and things that's coming up, but leave the money on the side for those events that's coming up.
Yes.
And I miss those days when I was working at in industry of different places. I only worked in I think 3 different places, but when I was working there, I used to always have those Christmas clubs and vacation clubs and those different types of accounts. And it was always awesome when vacation time came and they cut me that check and it just covered everything that I want. And so I got to start my own vacation club.
Yeah. I think those are always good to know.
Yeah.
Because when you set money to aside, when you assign money and you set it to aside, you forget about it. The goal is either know it exists and don't touch it, or just forget about it. Just forget that the money is there, and then you just keep doing your thing. And then you was like, man, you know what? Where is that vacation we supposed to be? We supposed to be going on vacation. We supposed to be. Here you go. We got it already assigned to you. And you like, it's just. I mean, yeah.
I can imagine. That's a great.
It is. Okay, it's hard to be sick when you cut your own self a check for $1,000. It's so hard to be sick. The weather out here is kind of bad. I got this information. I just found the check for $1,000. You know what? I ain't that bad no more. I don't feel as sick.
Right. Well, listen, we got another grinder out there, Minister Sharon D. Brumfield of Clear Thinking Channel. How you doing, Minister Brumfield? Good evening. Good evening.
Yes.
So what we have on the docket for today on this Financial Friday, as we get ready to roll into the summer months, where we have our teachers and our seasonal workers are off from work, and hopefully they didn't do like I did when it came to my vacation and not put money aside and leave it aside for this particular season. But nevertheless, we're going to share some things with you tonight that's going to help you like it always helps you. And so I'm always excited about those who holler at me where I'm out and about and tell me that they watch Financial Friday or how Financial Friday has been a blessing to them. And so I thank you all for your tuning in, and we pray that as a result of Financial Friday, you'll begin to experience some level of financial freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is financial freedom? I know we define it oftentimes. Let's define it one more time. Again, I won't say one more time. Let's define it again. What is financial freedom?
Financial freedom to me means that you have all or many options in order to. I think it's basically not being held back by financing. Finances is not your limitations to what you can do or where you can go. It's just you can do wherever you want to go. You can go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do. Financial freedom is just a byproduct of being financially literate.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Financial freedom, finances being something. I'm trying to remember how you put that. You said finances. Can you say it one more time? If you,
so let me see if I can. Yeah, no, because I'm. It's pretty sure. I'm pretty sure some YouTubers out there like, oh, okay, this is how you said it last time, but it's pretty much the same. So it's not being limited by your finances.
Yeah, there you go. That's it right there. not being limited by your finances. And so being
Yes.
able to do what it is that you feel like you need to do, and in some cases want to do without having financial limitations. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So what we got on the docket for tonight?
So we are finishing up the first half of the first half of making small adjustments and how they look. We're on the back half of that. So now we're
Okay.
going into how it looks on a bigger scale, and on top of that, how it looks in the end, like how did the end result looks. So
Okay.
I'll be going into those things.
All right. Very good. Very good. That small adjustments is major, and it's been coming up in different ways. Small adjustments. I heard it on the Vision Moments at church last Sunday. They was talking about small adjustments, and so that's a major part of really moving or shifting to anything. When you talk about bettering yourself, or you bettering your situation, your circumstance, or your condition, it's the small adjustments. That's such a on time word, because it takes the pressure off of trying to flip everything overnight.
Yes.
And all you have to do is zoom in and start where you are, or start at start, and begin to make your way that way. And
I
so,
will have to. I'll make sure. Come next week. I'll plaster how small adjustments have like these grand entrances. The small adjustments is like really key.
okay. Lewis is tuning in with us tonight. What's up, Lewis? He says financial freedom to me means having enough passive income, producing assets that make money while you sleep, to cover your expenses and allow you to do the things you want and sow into people lives. Now that's a good one right there. That's a good one.
That's that dictionary answer. I'm telling you that's that nice long one. Everybody be like, he's right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on the show and chop it up. And just chop it up, pick a topic and just chop it up. And you
Yes.
yeah. And so small adjustments. So small adjustments is so key. And I love what I've learned over the last couple of weeks, when we talked about how important it is to change our perspective of how we view savings accounts. And
Yes.
savings account is not a graveyard where you put your money forever, but it is a kind of a resting place, like a rest stop. You put your money in your savings to save up to whatever the target is, whether it's a CD, or whether it's money market, or whether it's stock, or whatever you're saving up for, because there's other places that's low risk that can make more money for you than just a savings account. And
Yes.
so, it was interesting. We moved some money out of the savings account into a CD, and I think it's like $400 is going to make in the next 5 months. I think it's going to be like 400, 300 and something, almost $400. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but if I would have just left it just sitting there, then at the end of 5 months, it would still be what it was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So moving it out of savings into the CD, it's kind of exciting to see that potential that it has. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what you're highlighting is exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That small adjustment, like just a small adjustment of saying, hey, we have an account.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move it into, you can keep it inside the same financial institution. You're just moving it into a better product that produces more money or
Right.
more interest on the money.
Mm-hmm.
And those small adjustments is what over time you will see. And you'll be like, okay, cool. I can see that I'm making more here than here. But over time, because now your money and the small adjustments, that small addition to that money,
Mm-hmm.
that's all making interest for you versus just
Right.
sitting there and it's being stagnant over in your savings account.
Okay. Good. Ms. Brumfield says she said a couple shows back how she was have been small adjustments, put money into a savings, and then taking it and flip it into a stock. And so
Yes.
she says today she received some dividends on one of her stocks this week. And so,
See,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
that's,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's the good part. That's
yeah,
but that highlights what the end result is. Is by making the right movements.
okay,
By just and and just like it's the small adjustments in which we can stretch to do. Just like stretch day. If you can stretch it and you
mm-hmm.
can put yourself in the best position, and now you're getting that additional money coming in. And that additional money adds up eventually to now I got more money that now I can invest in myself or the things in which I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always wonderful to hear.
And that's another good word there. You use the term stretch. Some people might not understand what we're talking about when we say that, but we have we at our church we call it Stretch Day, and that's a day that we stretch beyond our tithes and offering for a certain target, a certain goal. Um, whatever that goal may be. It could be a new computer. It could be some landscaping. It can be, whatever it is, we'll get a number and then we'll all come together and stretch beyond what we gave in order to meet that goal. And so James is saying we can do that same thing in our personal lives. That,
Yes.
we can target a CD or a stock or money market or whatever other product that the bank offers or credit union, whatever financial institution offers that we can make money on. If let's say they say $500, then each week you can stretch to save more than you normally would save in order with that goal in mind that at the end of the month I'm going to get this CD for $500 or whatever the case may be. So
Yes.
yeah. All right, well, listen, let's go ahead and get into our lesson for tonight. And you know how that time be rolling on us.
Yeah, it do be moving. It
And
do
then
be.
at the end, you be going over, and then I'll be trying to pull you back, and you just keep on going. It's like, hey, hold up, Doc, we out of time. No, he doesn't do that. That's usually what I do. So
I always think that is funny. but it is nice to know that it's one. I want to say for everybody out there that is making those small adjustments, thank you.
yeah.
For all those who can see the small adjustments, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For all those who envision doing it, go and do it.
Yeah.
Because nothing that you invest, nothing that you don't invest in. Mm-hmm. I may not say that correctly. So let me see if I can say it correctly. If you don't try it and you don't believe it, then you will get the results in which you are seeking.
Yeah.
But if you do try it and you do pursue it and you believe that it will work, you will see those small adjustments become bigger adjustments.
Yeah, and you said it right, because there are many different things that you can invest your money in. And so it's really about having the mindset to invest, to be conscious of what your money is doing
Yeah.
and what your money has the potential to do. And it's one thing if you're in the blind and you just got money sitting somewhere and you don't know what it's doing and you have no vision for it. And it's another thing to know what potential that you have and be able to utilize the options, to be able to bring in more money. Now I only had just a little bit of money, and that's bringing in, like I said, almost $400, in 5 months. So imagine what happens if I set a goal every month that I'm going to target a $500 CD every month. I'm going to target, and I just keep doing that and keep flipping it and keep doing that and keep doing that. And then eventually, I should be able to make some moves. Is
Yeah.
that right, Coach?
Yes, you can. You can definitely make some moves. I mean, and plus, if you look at the small adjustments, right? By the time you get your money back, you put in a $500 CD for 5 months. In half a year, you'll have that money back plus the interest.
Right. Whoa.
If you was to re-roll over that money, now I'm halfway skeptical of my mind. There you go. Okay. If you was to re-roll over that $500 plus that interest, right? So now, if you was to do it into another CD product that's 3 to 5 or 6 months, by the time you get it back, now you have 500 plus interest, gaining that much more interest. Right. And then that's how you start the snowball effect in a positive way. So you can have more things ready to go for you.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we want to do, because there's so many different ways out there that a person can make money, and it's about having multiple streams. And so you have to have different I'm trying to find this out here on the live thing. We got to have different pots that we're working with. You bring in 500 there, and then you bring in some over here, you bring in some over there, and that it begins to add up. You know what I'm saying? What we got there, Mr. Brumfield said, that's what I said about my stock. The dividends will get larger the more I invest. Yeah. And then I think that's what they call a snowball effect.
Yeah.
It starts out small, and as it gains momentum, it gets bigger and bigger. And by the time it gets down there, it's like, it may start like a little ball on the top of the hill, but whatever's at the bottom of the hill better watch out, because that thing get bigger and bigger. And when it come rolling down at the bottom, it's going to tie some stuff up.
That's exactly what it needs to do. Yeah. You always want to make your money start off small, and you want it to jettison. If you want to you want to find the right vehicle. And actually, sometimes it's not in the right vehicle. You just want to find a vehicle that's moving. Yeah. Because as you get better at it, you're better suited at picking the right vehicle for you. Okay. And that's like really big for me, is making sure that we are investing in the vehicle for us. Okay. That way, you have an idea, you have an idea or conscious about what is going on. Like, some people may be more interested in pet products, some people may be more interested in vegan trees and treats of that nature, and some people may be in the baby products. So you're investing in something in which you have an interest in, and that gives you an idea to be more passionate about that in which you've invested in. So you have more tying you in to your investment. Okay. Which allows you to do more adjustments.
and did you slip a word in there on us? Sound like you said Jedi or
adjustments. You can do more adjustments.
Oh, I thought you slipped the word in there, like Jedi. He's like Jedi. I'm like, that means your money gonna take off like a jet. What word is that one?
Okay, we can do it. If you want to make small adjustment and want to become a videographer or a director or a producer, most of the time, people who are not seen on camera can also attribute to a motion picture, theaters. Okay. Your executive producers are making money off the movie. So if you want to be in that industry, you have to start with small industries. So you make your money, you get your money back off the movie, and then you produce another movie. And then that's how you get your name out there. That's how people know that you're the person to talk to. You get more screens, more scripts to read, and see if you want to invest in that culture or that genre.
Okay. All right.
Everything we do, if you're passionate about it, you can more easily execute on the ups and the downs.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, let's get into this small adjustments and give a few more nuggets that they can take home with them, or I guess it depends on if they're at home or not. We can make portable that they can take with them. Yes, and they can begin to put them into practice. And so let's roll.
So starting off top, we're starting off where we left off. So with that, welcome to Rise and Thrive. I'm James Jones. This is Pastor Dr. Anthony D. Burns. So where we left off at was here. So remember the formula. It's 10, 10, 40, 20, 5, and 5. So we're only right now last week we was talking about just the 5%, which is just for your sanity. Now we're going to blow that up over time, and then you're going to see how that attributes to the overall, and then how your money can continue to grow a lot faster. Okay, because I always want to show people the smallest nugget, and then how that looks in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
So it's when to make small adjustments. So we always start at the same thing, and I always like to tell people it's the same thing. By doing the same thing over and over again, you become really good at doing the same thing over and over again. By being consistent at what you do, you are consistent at what you do. So when I say that, I'm not being facetious. I'm just telling you that the small adjustments you make today, make those same ones tomorrow, make those same ones a week from now, make the same ones a month from now. So as you make small adjustments, you take that money and you put inside a savings account. Do you have to put into a savings account? No. Is it the best angle for you to put yourself in the right situation that you can utilize that money without using it for something that is not assigned to? That's why I say a savings account. It's hard to move the money out of a savings account, and when you do, it's a lot of paper traffic that goes with moving money out of a savings account. So taking your small adjustments, putting them in your savings account, and the end result is that you're going to remove it from your savings account, and then you're going to put it inside of a CD, or you're going to put it inside of a stock portfolio, or you're going to put it inside a mutual fund, or you may use it to buy gold or silver. Because the reasons why it's in a savings account is only for a temporary purpose. If you was holding money to buy a home, that's a great thing, except you want to make sure that you're putting the money inside the savings account into a CD. So you can say, I'm buying a home next year in 2025. Well, the money is inside the savings account and then in a CD. And then by the time it matures, that you will be in the house looking or house buying situation, your CD will mature, and then you'll have that much more money in interest.
Okay.
If you was to do a stock's the same thing. That's why you have dividends. If you was to put your money in the stocks, as you get a dividend back, you put the dividend back into the stock market. The same stock market that gave you the dividends, you're repositioning that money right back in the stock market. That means that over time you are that much more or that much further ahead. So when you get your next dividend check, you will get a bigger dividend check. So you always want to make sure your small adjustments are in the same area in which you are already investing in.
Okay.
And that's the end goal.
All right. And that's a good word right there, especially when you really begin to think about how that small adjustments could start you on a pathway to financial freedom. Yeah. And I like the way you said it when you said you pretty much was saying it ought to become habitual, habit forming, that we begin to not just do it one time for this, but do it continually, Yes. And so, don't make the mistake of just being, I don't know how to say it, thinking small, and you're just going to target, I'm going to save for a new coat. And then as soon as I got my coat, then I don't save anymore. And then I'm back spending money like I used to spend it. And so, no, you want it to become habitual. You want it to become habit forming. You want to have a habit of, making those small adjustments on a continual basis, always sticking parking your money, building it up for a better move. You want that to be a habit of doing that. I tell people all the time when it comes to being a believer that your faith, you should be believing God for something all the time, whether it's a parking space. I know someone who believes God for a parking space, that they want a front row parking space every time they go to any type of shopping place or anywhere. And so they always got their faith out there believing for a parking space. And the funny thing is that the times that I've been with them, they always get a front row parking space. You know what I
That's
mean? And so I'm saying, one of the things I always believe for is to take a gas. And it's often that people will say, "Here, Pastor, fill your truck up or whatever." And I'm not broadcasting it. Well, I guess I'm broadcasting it now, I guess, but I'm not, like, I'm not soliciting over the pulpit saying, I'm believing for it, take a gas, and it's not that I don't have the money for the gas, but I'm always believing for something. My faith is on something,
yeah,
all the time, and the group that I run with is not unusual for them to ask what you believe in God for today. What's the biggest thing you believe in God for? You know, and you can't run with them and not be able to answer them questions. So you know what I mean. So your faith should always be on something, and in the same way, you should always be making small adjustments towards a bigger goal. All right.
yeah,
Lewis says small adjustments gradually change your behavior patterns, which in turn become a positive habit. Isn't that something? Look at that. See, I was right in there, didn't even know it. He
yeah.
said small adjustments gradually change your behavior pattern, which in turn becomes a positive habit. So small adjustment, that's another reason to make small adjustments because it does become habitual and it has the power to change your behavior pattern. Wow.
Yes.
All
And
right.
that's the one of the good things about once you become financially literate, you start looking at things a different way. It's not negative. It's just where do I spend my money? How do I spend my money? Like certain things that we just frivolously spend our money on. Like, hey, we here. I'm at Home Depot. I see a candy bar for $5. I'm gonna just buy the candy bar because I got $5.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, you know what? I already know that candy bar is way too expensive for what it is.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to Walmart or I'm gonna go to Amazon. I'm gonna just order a whole pack for $5, and I can just have those when I need them.
Right.
Like it's once you start the process and the process become ingrained in you, then you just start making better decisions,
Right.
and then, and you can better tolerate and you can speak on it. Why did you not buy that? That's something I'm not even gonna waste my money on. I'm buying this, which is just like that, but I get more of it. And then that's one of the bigger things that being financially literate is I can foresee something happening. So I know I want a new car. I can see my car. My car is going a little wonker right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's past the warranty. It's too old. I don't want to put a new money in the engine. So I'm going to pace myself so I can buy a new car. I'm going to ride this until the wheels fall off, but I'm going to buy myself a new car. And at the same time, you're believing that everything is going to work itself out, and you're assigning.
Okay.
And you're putting yourself in that right vehicle and in that right pace. So as one vehicle is dying out, you get your paycheck, you add a couple more dollars onto it, and now you have another vehicle that you can keep yourself moving on.
Right.
Because in this country, driving is a lot more than a privilege. It allows you more access to more things, and you have the ability to go more places to acquire more money and or sometimes to talk to more people face to face. So being able to do that is pertinent to me in my ventures right now.
Good word. That's a good word. And I do believe that, once you begin to set your heart towards something, that other things will open up for you to be able to make those things happen. You know what I mean? So once you have a definite purpose, once you say, I'm going to buy me a new car next year, then between now and next year, once you locked into that thought, that different opportunities is going to come up for you to be able to save money and for you to be able to put money up and even for you to probably make some money. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you have to be intentional about, putting that money aside and leaving that money there for that particular purpose. Yeah. And so small adjustments. So we kind of cleared small adjustments.
Yes, we did.
All right.
So that's the end result of all small adjustments that you can make things happen. Now I'm gonna go into combining multiple adjustments.
Okay.
So when you make small adjustments, now remember we already talked about the formula, the 10, 10, 40, 20,
Mm-hmm.
10, 5, and 5. We talked about that. So how do those small adjustments look? So once your emergency fund or your emergency account is already full, you can start moving that money into, remember, another small adjustment. So you're moving it into another savings account so you can start doing, or that money can start being more active. The acceleration is what we use in order to pay off our credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, some people don't understand that if you're making the minimum payments, it's going to take you 20 plus years typically to pay it all off.
Mm-hmm.
By just adding $25 or $50 or $100 onto that, you can accelerate what you're doing by years in most cases.
Yeah.
So if you was to take $25 of your acceleration plus, remember last week was just $10 of your sanity. So that means instead of going to the movies, you're making popcorn at home. Instead of you trying to rent the brand newest movie, no, you utilize the free products that are given and you just watch a movie that is a good movie. It doesn't cost you anything. So by saving that, you're now up to $10. So overall, in the course of a month, right, by these small adjustments in the course of a month, you're now bringing in, or you have $85 that you can assign to your savings account. And this is just a small example of what you can do once you get used to making those small adjustments.
Okay.
Going from there, $85 in the course of 6 months, now you have $510. So then that's where your CDs come in. And or if you have $300 or your stocks or your mutual funds,
Right.
or if you make an investment in, and I always tell people sometimes you need to make a bigger investment in what you're doing. Now, if you look at the formula, you're already putting in 20% into your investment. But let's say that you need to buy a new product or some equipment that will help you with your own personal investment. Well, now you have that money assigned to go to your investment. Remember, it's sitting in the savings account to do something.
Yeah.
That $510 is not sitting in your savings account so you can look at it and be happy. It's sitting in your savings account so you can move it to do a purpose. And I can't stress that enough, is that your mindset should be temporary holding is your savings account, but it has to do the purpose that you have called it to do.
Yeah. That's major. And I think once we begin to get that locked into our thought pattern, that a lot of things is within our reach. A lot of times we look at things outside of our reach, and then we haphazardly waste a lot of money, just buying frivolous things. But if we can get that multiple small adjustment mentality and begin to assign our monies to CDs, stocks, or money market, or whatever product the financial institute may have available, to increase that money versus it's just sitting idle in just a regular savings account. And once we begin to see those different multiple streams of income coming in, even at small levels, combine those small levels together, it becomes a large level, and then flipping that thing into one of those products, and you just continue with that mindset. You'll be amazed how, like Lewis was saying, with the behavior patterns change. You'll be amazed how you'll begin to be more discerning, if I can use that term, when it comes to what you should be doing with your money, what your money is doing, and even conscious when you're expecting money, already having a mindset of what you're going to do with that money and how that money is going to make some more money for you. Did that sound right?
Yeah, that does sound right. It sounds right, because we need more people to know that's exactly what we want them to do. We want people to have a discernment about money. And that's the big thing about being financially literate.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get jostled around with different situations or who will become president. That those things won't affect you as much, because your money is already making money.
Yeah.
And when you get to the point where your money is making money, and like he said, when you're sleeping and your money is making money, and you're woke and you're having fun and your money is still making money, and you can put more money aside so that new money can start making money.
Yeah.
When you have those engines going,
Mm-hmm.
you're less likely to be controlled by different news media sources or the signs of the times, because your money is still doing what it's doing. Now I can devote more time to prayer. I can devote more times to my ministry. I can devote more times to just doing or helping other people, because that's the goal. The goal is, as I become freer, let me free somebody else up. Right. As I become stronger, let me make sure I'm strengthening my brethren. And those are the things, because it's not enough that one person make it if that one person doesn't bring somebody else in the game with them. So we all need to make it. So that's the beauty of being financially literate. When you start hitting freedoms, you could be like, hey guys, no, this is what you need to do. This is how you hit freedoms. And then everyone can express themselves uniquely, but everybody is still financially free.
Yeah. And that's another area we have to grow in, because as a culture, a lot of times we, not just the African American culture, but the culture of the world today, we're so individualized and so narcissistic when it comes to, looking out for ourselves, but we're not really free when it comes to sharing information, and we have to do better in that, because that's part of it, being able to help somebody else. And it solidifies a lot of things for you when you do that. It's like, it's like learning something. If I learn some new information, but I don't go put it into practice, after a while, I'll forget that information, And so, but when I go and I put that information into practice, it unlocks my understanding in other areas, how that interact with that information, that now I can take that small information and go further in other areas of my life. And it's the same when we talk about financial literacy. As you learn different things about finances and you place them and you begin to put those things into practice, and then it opens up your understanding of how you can begin to even be broader and how you can impact other lives, how that makes even you stronger. And just once you lock in on something, a piece of information that is bringing, residual, is bringing dividends, or is, that is working for you, then helping somebody else is not going to lessen that for yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of times I think we look at things as a culture, as a pie, and the pie have, 8 slices. And if I tell James, then, he going to come and get one of my slices. And then it will be enough for me, you know what I mean? And so then, even though I can probably only consume one slice myself, instead of telling 7 other people about the other 7 slices, that's a whole nother subject.
But you are right. When I first started in real estate, there was no one in Milwaukee even willing to help me. Okay. And the crazy part was I was hungry to learn. I was hungry to learn. I was eager. I was happy. I was like, hey, let's get this over with.
Okay.
And I didn't have enough people. I don't want to say enough people. I had people who loved me. And people who loved me, they was willing to help me. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I didn't have a financial base of people that was like, cool, this ain't getting the real estate, this how it looks, this the best move ever.
Okay.
I didn't have that.
Okay.
And then once I got in, I was like, okay, cool. This how my setup is gonna be, and this is how it's gonna look. And most of that was just off the love of my family that was aiding me in understanding things. And then when I got small, I guess when I became a smaller company, then I was able to go out to Chicago and get actual assistance from people like, no, this is how the legal system works. This is how you are to operate. This is how you are to do this. And then like that was able to blossom a lot of the things in which I'm doing by getting assistance.
Okay.
Can I give a shout out real quick for the SBA, Small Business Association, Small Business Administration?
They're one of our sponsors. They
they was one of the people that helped directed me getting started. So without them and a proper direction, I probably wouldn't have had an older fella that was an executive to be like, oh, okay, cool. I know what you're trying to do.
okay.
And then he was like, oh, faith-based? I was like, no, Christian. He was like, faith-based. I'm like, no, it's Christian. He was like, okay, Christian. I was like, yeah, there you go. We got to make sure we got to make sure this ship is right starting off. And he understood my mindset. He understood what I was trying to do it. And he gave me a lot of good pointers to help me facilitate that.
Okay. And who was that? You called it what organization?
Small Business Administration. So,
okay. The Small Business Administration.
Yeah, I contacted them. They didn't have anybody in Milwaukee that can help me. So they actually helped me contact a guy that was out in Chicago. And he was an old executive. He was an old executive of a property management company. And he gave me tons of pointers because he was on his way retiring. And he said, oh, I'll help you if you really want it. And he gave me work to do. He gave me assignments. He gave me stuff to read. And I was like, I'm hungry. I read them. And then I can say definitely by having that foresight, it sure up a whole lot of years of it's called trial and error. So I already got the guy that's telling me, no, you need to read this law, understand this group. You may want to join this affiliation, and then they can get you where you need to be, or at least get you in the right area.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was phenomenal.
Okay. All right.
So that's why I tell everybody when you make it, that's why you got to be able to bring more people in with you. Like, hey, I'm here. Hey guys, let's all get here, because trust me, there's more than enough land out there for us all to buy.
Yeah,
I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just out here doing my thing, having fun. So,
Prophet Lewis said that the SBA is going to be one of our sponsors, and so we received that.
Oh, and, yeah.
He also says it's important to have mentors. It's important to have mentors, and I do agree with that in all different levels. Matter of fact, that's a good segue for those of you who are serious about really taking your life back. Sometimes we allow different things in our lives. This is a commercial. Sometimes we allow different things in our lives to pull us off, and pull us away. But this is a good time to take your life back. And so on Sunday at Jericho Church Without Walls, we invite you to be a part of our 30-day fast. And our theme for our 30 days is going to be, it's time to fight back. And so it's time to make the devil pay. And so our devotional books came in this week. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I'm excited about the devotional book that came in this week. And this is for those who are serious about taking it back. And so it's broke up into 3 parts, something for morning, noon, and evening. And the devotionals are $20. And I feel like when I did this devotion, I was doing it for myself, and it's just packed with a lot of encouragement. It packed, a lot of times you got to think things through in order to be able to make the changes that you need to make and highlight the things that you need to do. And so it's full of that. And so it's $20, and we're asking those who are strong, if I can use that term, I'm asking those to purchase 2 and to take somebody else through it. When we talk about mentoring, it's so important for us to reach down and to help somebody else. And so think of somebody that may be on the fence, maybe you ain't seen them in a while, and connect with them for 30 days and just check in with each other every day for 30 days and give feedback on what you've learned, and it's going to be really great for you. Is there an ebook for It's Time to Fight? No, we don't have an ebook, but we're probably going to have one put together. The challenge, I don't know how you do ebooks when it comes to when it's got fill in the blank, because it's got a lot of fill in the blank in the book. Can you see that? You can't see that, can you? It's watching.
No.
It's a lot of fill in the blank each day. It's asking some questions and different things so that you can just check in with where you are, personal reflections, and it has some self-reflection and just some different places, different things every day. Um, um, Application asking you, okay, what you're going to do. It's got action steps in there. And so with the ebook, I don't know how you write in there. I guess you have to print it out yourself and then write in there, but then it would be an ebook, right?
Yes.
So the devotionals right now, they just came in today, and so the first batch is going to be going towards the church. And so if you stop by Jericho tomorrow, you can pick you up one. After Jericho tomorrow, we'll see what's left, and then we'll see whether we need to order some more or not. And based on that, we're probably going to put them on our website, dradburns.com, and you'll be able to go on the website and order one. And so they're hot off the press.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're serious about taking back what the devil may have stole, whether it be peace, joy, whatever the case may be, this devotional is for you. But this ain't for the faint of heart. So if you're not committed to yourself, it's in 3 parts, so you can do just part 1. You can do just part 1, but if you're really serious about it, then that's gonna be for you. Well, we almost out of time here, Mr. J. And so it's amazing how fast the time goes. I've had a great time tonight, learned some things. We went from making small adjustments to making multiple adjustments. We also talking about making better decisions, how important that is to make better decisions. And then again, we reiterated the fact that we park our money in savings, but we target areas where we want it to go. And so, what else did you have? Do you have anything else you want to make sure we got tonight before we slid into home plate?
Okay, so we know about the savings accounts are only a temporary thing, so I don't want anybody to ever get stuck on that. If you put your money in a savings account, it's being held for a temporary purpose, and then it goes into your investments. The reason why I always put your investments first is because I'm not talking about stocks and bonds necessarily. I'm talking about those things in which you have a personal, passionate interest in. Those are your investments. Anybody can make money in many different areas, but those things that you have a personal and passionate interest in, those are your investments. Those are things that you yourself will be more inclined to understand as well as to go into. Real quick, is like a guy that I work with. He drinks Monsters like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I told him, I said, hey, why don't you put your money into Monster energy drinks? He said, what do you mean? I said, if you drink a case of them within a week, if you drink a 24 case within a week, guess what? You're probably a fan of them. And then you know that they'll make money because you're buying into it. If you was a seamstress, hey, guess what? You may want to get yourself involved in a fashion week where you can go out and you can look at the new fashions. Why? Because those are the things in which your investments allow you to open your imagination as well as to get things done. Me, personally, I like Black Enterprise and Forbes. Those are magazines that if you read digitally, you can still get some more insight in things that are happening. It's just investing in yourself is always the first investment I would like people to do. Your stocks, bonds, and someone else's investments are the things that you would like to do afterwards. So if I had to move that. And the last one is always have an idea on what you're doing when you move your money from your savings. So whenever you move money into your savings, you should have a plan on what you're going to do when you get there. The big three for me are stocks, because mutual funds and stocks are very similar. So stocks is really big for me. Real estate, really big for me. Gold is really big for me, but they have differences. Stocks are things in which you have a note that tells you that you own a piece of something. Real estate is something that says you have this actual item. Gold is something that the world runs off of. Even though the gold is not part of the fiat currency, gold is very worldwide accepted, and you can still exchange that for actual cash whenever it comes up. And there's a host of other things in which people can do, but those are the three in which I chose for right now to talk about.
All right. And so you said those three were say them off again.
Okay, so stocks are things that you have a purchase of, that you have ownership in, but you don't own it. You have ownership in. So that's stocks. Mutual funds are very similar to stocks. Real estate assets are things that you own. Like I own houses, I own buildings. Like you own the actual physical structure, because there's a whole lot of land for everybody to buy if people want to get into that market. Gold is the standard, basically. Even though gold is not the standard for fiat for the currency that we're using, gold will always be profitable in the United States and around the world. Also silver. So if you were to buy actual gold or actual silver, then you still can you can barter with those throughout the world. Those are the three that I talk about that I use, but there's a host of them, like REITs and gold notes and mutual funds and Bitcoin. There's a host of other items or investment items or investment services or products that people can utilize in order to establish income to flow into their lives. I just know that stocks brings in a dividends, which brings in income. Every real estate property brings in an income. Gold is a standard in which I can utilize to barter with to get more money. Okay. So that's the reason why I wrote those three.
Okay. So you consider mutual funds, CDs, stocks, all in the same category?
Yeah. Basically, you put your money up to get a return back once it hits the maturity.
Okay. All right. Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. Listen, I hope again that those of you who tune in that you learned something tonight. That would be another step towards financial freedom for you. For those of you who are experiencing financial freedom, that it will be something to reinforce what you're doing, or to even open you up to another level or another idea. And so, listen, we believe that as you begin to make those small adjustments, that you're destined for financial freedom. And again, let me go back and look at let's see what was our definition of the week. Financial freedom to me means having enough passive income producing assets that make more money while you sleep to cover your expenses and to allow you to do the things that you want to do and sow into the lives of people. And so, that was one of our definitions for financial freedoms. And I like the way James said it. Financial freedom is you're not being bound by finances, paraphrase.
That works for me.
And so thank you again for tuning in. James, any closing comments?
Yes, we got to pray, because last time one of my brothers told me I didn't pray out like I normally do. So
okay.
I told him I'll make sure.
All right. All right. Well, you better do that right now then. We got about 2 minutes.
All right, let's get it. God, we thank you for this time that we have together, and for everyone who's listening, to include myself. Father, we thank you for giving us the words to say, the wisdom to act, and the strength to do what you have called us to do. So as we go individually throughout this world and buy all the things in which we need to do, we thank you for giving us financial understanding that we will grow and do what you have called us to do. Amen.
In Jesus' name. Amen. Well, listen, thank you again for tuning into another Financial Friday. Listen, when we were rising from our financial slumps and we are thriving in financial freedom. And so, listen, you all be blessed. Don't forget, small adjustments make great habits. And so we'll look forward to seeing you on next week. We out of here. Peace.
Oh yeah, there you go.